Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fine Tune. On World Music Day, I'm bringing you Fine Tune from the Jindal Global University, from the School of Liberal Arts and Humanities. In Fine Tune today, we're going to be in conversation with two very talented musicians of our country. They're going to take us through their musical journey and share their magical musical experiences with us. I'm also hopeful that both of them, apart from sharing their musical journey with us, will also sing a few lines. So let me introduce you to them.
Hello, उसके लिए पैसे लगते हैं.
उसके लिए पैसे लगेंगे, but वो full-fledged concert होगा जब. Only when there's a full-fledged concert. Okay, let me introduce you to my two very talented musicians. One of them is Sharvi Yadav. She is this bubbly, effervescent 25-year-old who already has put in 100 jingles to her credit. No wonder she's known as the Jingle Queen. She's also cut her teeth in Bollywood as a playback singer, first in the film Veere the Wedding, then Frozen 2, then Thappad, and just recently she's also come out with a song called Morniye from the movie #@Azad. Am I right?
It's not a movie, it's Amit Trivedi's independent album, which is called 80 Azad.
Okay.
Amit Trivedi Azad.
Okay. I was not able to figure out what it's called. Okay, this is a song which has been composed by Amit Trivedi and the lyrics have been written by Shelley. So big welcome to you, Sharvi Yadav, and hello.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
My other guest, yeah, okay, lovely to have you here. My other music person has a formidable track record. He is what you call the typical super achiever student, somebody whose academic records are any parent would be proud to brag about it. So what are those academic records? So he starts off in Xavier School in Delhi. Then he goes on to do his chemistry honors from St. Stephen's. Then he does some more chemistry in IIT Kanpur. Then he does a PhD in Cornell, for which he gets a scholarship, and he does it in environmental what is the word?
Toxicology.
Toxicology. Yeah. Toxicology. Yes. So now the thing about Rahul is that he's this great, super talented student, but he's also got something on the side going for him. He's a little hatke, little different, because from the very beginning he's had this music bug in him. So I'm going to hand it over to the musician, the activist Rahul Ram, to tell our students especially how he's managed to balance being both a great singer and musician as well as a fantastic student. Later on in the conversation, we will also talk about his incredible 30-year musical journey as a super achiever in Indian Ocean as well as ऐसी तैसी democracy. So Rahul Ram.
Okay, wow, what a build up. इसके बाद तो सारा ही फीका लगेगा यार. Sorry, हाँ मेरे को ये करना था. तो क्या बोलूं? I enjoyed studying. I know a lot of people find that very weird, but I actually enjoyed studying. I still like studying. I was a completely middle of the road indifferent student in school. कुछ खास नहीं. लकीली मेरे पेरेंट्स मेरे सर के ऊपर नहीं चढ़े रहते थे कि बेटा फर्स्ट आना है या वो सब कुछ बकवास नहीं था मेरे घर पे, क्योंकि मेरे पेरेंट्स दोनों प्रोफेसर्स थे और वो जानते थे कि फर्स्ट इज नॉट पर्टिकुलरली इम्पोर्टेंट, सीखना ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है. तो बुद्धू नहीं हो उतना ही बहुत है. ठीक है, ये मैं आप सब स्टूडेंट को कहना चाहता हूँ कि फर्स्ट तो एक ही बंदा आ सकता है ना यार, इतनी कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है। मैं स्कूल में कभी भी किसी भी चीज में फर्स्ट नहीं आया, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ा मेरे को। और मेरे बैंड में भी बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो कभी भी फर्स्ट नहीं आए थे किसी भी चीज में। इट डज नॉट मैटर, व्हाट मैटर्स इज दैट यू प्रिपेयर योरसेल्फ फॉर आगे, यू नो। एनीवे, तो पढ़ाई वढ़ाई करके फिर मैं स्टीफन में घुसा। स्टीफन में मैंने केमिस्ट्री कर दी, और केमिस्ट्री में I was a little better. I did a little better than nothing. And then I went to IIT Kanpur to do a 2-year master's. And there I was, yeah, I was good. वो आपने चेतन भगत का पढ़ा है ना, 5 point something. I was a 9.96. And I got 1 B plus out of 21 courses. And I got that B plus in mathematics, one of the maths courses. क्योंकि मैं दिल्ली चला गया था गिटार बजाने। तो I had gone off to play at IIT Rendezvous with my IIT Kanpur band, and in the process, and also, you know, in those days my girlfriend used to stay in Delhi, so any chance I used to get फर करके रात की ट्रेन में बैठ के मैं दिल्ली पहुंच जाता था कानपुर से। बड़े सारे वीकेंड मैंने मिस किए, और ये वीकडे पे था तो मैंने 2 क्लासेस मिस की, केवल 2 उस सब्जेक्ट में। और उन दिनों में उसने नॉन लीनियर डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशंस के बाउंड्री कंडीशंस सॉल्व करवाए, और वो मैं आज तक नहीं सीख पाया हूं, तो मेरे को B+ मिला। ठीक है, फिर क्या होता है कि IIT से सब लोग फॉरेन में अप्लाई करते। So I went off to the US. I did my PhD because I had already gotten interested in environmental issues when I was in school. And while I was in college, I had gone to spend a month with Sundarlal Bahuguna ji's Chipko Andolan in the Garhwal Himalayas. I had gone to a place called Ambur outside Chennai, where they still have a massive groundwater pollution problem because they had a lot of tanneries. So the tanneries put a lot of rubbish into the groundwater. It was full of chromium and it was undrinkable. And I learned a lot about different environmental issues in my school, about pesticides, about pollution, about questions about development versus environment, जो आजकल भी है। और साथ साथ में मैं गिटार बजा रहा था। देखो यार, बचपन में ना सब कुछ हो सकता है, बहुत टाइम होता है अपने हाथ में, क्योंकि एक खाना नहीं पकाना पड़ता, B अपने कपड़े बाय एंड लार्ज नहीं धोने पड़ते हैं, C मम्मी टेक्स केयर ऑफ एवरीथिंग। So there's a lot of time. Like I tell you, in college, I used to, because I was doing chemistry, I had a serious amount of course load, right? Chemistry, क्योंकि practical होते हैं, बहुत कुछ करना पड़ता है। तो मैं सवेरे 8:30 बजे कॉलेज पहुंचता था, 3:30 बजे तक मेरे क्लासेस होते थे, 3:30 का DU स्पेशल पकड़ के मैं धौला कुआं जाता था। धौला कुआं में मैं अपने बैंड के साथ प्रैक्टिस करता था, और रात को 10 बजे घर आता था, और फिर थोड़ी बहुत पढ़ाई करके खाना करके सो जाता था। Into infinity. Okay, but I could do it because you have the energy and you have the enthu and you have the ability to do lots of things when you're younger. And so I had never thought I'm going to become a professional musician, and I actually became a professional musician only, I'd say, in my 30s, which is another thing I want to say, that people try and tell students that you have to fix your career now. हमारा सिस्टम ही ऐसा है यार, 10वीं क्लास के बाद कहते हैं डिसाइड कर लो क्या बनना चाहते हो। साइंस लिया तो सिर्फ साइंस करोगे, आर्ट्स लिया तो सिर्फ आर्ट्स करोगे, कॉमर्स लिया तो सिर्फ कॉमर्स। क्यों भाई, कौन कहता है? 17 साल की उम्र पे, या 10वीं में जब हो आप, 16 साल की उम्र पे, कौन जानता है कि आगे वो क्या करना चाहता है? कोई नहीं जानता। ये हमारी सिस्टम ऐसी है कि हमें करवाती है। इस सिस्टम से वो छोड़ दो। अब माँ बाप कहते हैं तो थोड़ा बहुत तो माँ बाप का सुनना पड़ता है, मगर you keep your thing intact in your head and try and find your passion. It's not that easy. A lot of people don't find their passion in their teens. I didn't know what I wanted to be. I went and did a PhD, man. PhD करके वापस आके मैं नर्मदा आंदोलन में गांव में काम किया हूँ, और साथ में कुछ पुराने दोस्त मिले जिन्होंने कहा यार गिटार बजा दे, तो मैं गिटार बजाना तब फिर से शुरू किया। और अब देखो 20 साल बाद, या जो भी है 30 साल बाद, अब मैं गिटार ही बजाता हूँ.
So
तो कुछ
when
भी हो
did you
सकता है
join
लाइफ.
Indian Ocean?
I joined Indian Ocean in 1991. When were you born, young thing?
Okay, now
Oh, yes.
from Dr. Now let's move from Dr. Rahul Ram to Sharvi Yadav. Sharvi, you had a band in
I'm so
college,
sorry, but
and
I've always been your fan. But like, just my chai has gone super thandi because I didn't drink it. I was only listening to you. Wow, what is that journey? Wow, wow, wow. So
It's
okay,
been
have you
fun.
stopped? You know, Sharvi. Sorry,
Sorry, ma'am. You
Sharvi. Yeah, now I need to talk to you about your journey. You've had you've been part of a band in college.
Yes.
You are from Noida.
Yes.
Then you participated in this competition, which is I think it's called Stage 2, in which you won.
Yes.
Subsequently, you decided to move to Bombay.
Yes.
Can you tell me what made you move to Bombay at that time?
Ma'am, I've had a extremely interesting roller coaster of a journey. Like I feel, I um I was in college and I always used to sing. I just like music in general always. My brother used to sing Sonu Nigam songs at home, and I used to just follow him. And I was in a missionary school, so I started singing a lot of what do you say, English songs, um, and then so I just picked it up, and I never thought that I want to be a musician. As Rahul sir was saying, it takes time for someone to find your passion, find your own passion. So I never thought of it as that
Right.
something that I want to do. So I ended up going to, as you say, jo both them, what do you want to do? So I decided to take commerce because I didn't know what to do with life. So I was like, safe option, take commerce. Arts समझ नहीं आती है, साइंस समझ नहीं आती है, कॉमर्स इज द middle. Correct, that's how it is for a lot of people. I was like, commerce, safe option, take commerce and then we'll see. I was like, okay, I took commerce. I thankful because I used to sing. I got through ECA quota. I did BCom honors from Sri Venkateshwara College, and I was so blessed to have
Okay.
some incredible musicians around me. I learned so much from them, from songwriting to vocals to harmonies to a lot of things. There's a lot of incredible musicians around me. We used to go for fests, and then I met more people, and that's how I feel my musical knowledge sort of started increasing via the people around me. So I feel environment is very important for any sort of career that you're in or anything that you want to pursue, what kind of people you hang out with. So that sort of, for me, that really helped. So I formed a band, a 3-piece band called Sylvia, and we used to write
Sylvia, yes.
original, we used to do neo soul jazz sort of stuff. And then I started playing in small pubs, and then I started doing all these things. And then that was the time when I started falling in love with music. And I thought maybe I could do something with it. Maybe, let's see, I don't know, I was still 18, 19, I still didn't know what to do. So then I auditioned for this show,
Right.
the stage, and stage one, and then I couldn't even make it to the auditions. I was so horrible, and I didn't get selected, and I couldn't. And my obviously my confidence, my morale, everything was super down. And I thought maybe I'm not meant for reality shows. I'll choose some other path. I still loved music. I didn't give up on music. Then after a year, I posted a random, because I would still I kept practicing, I kept making my voice better. I posted a random cover video on Facebook at 8 a.m. in the morning before sleeping. I still remember. And it reached Ehsan sir, Ehsan Nurani, and he made a point to message me and said, I hope you're auditioning for for stage season 2. And I couldn't believe it. I said, I woke up in the evening, obviously, And then I said, of course I am. I couldn't believe that I got a message from him. And that's how it started. I auditioned for the stage. I met a lot of incredible people. I got to perform for people who I'd looked up to. Vishal Dadlani, I'm one of the biggest fan. And yeah, and then one thing led to another. I moved to Bombay, and all of this happened. But I feel one thing, because we're talking about this, is even if a path shuts itself, that doesn't mean that you should give up on something that you love. There are so many paths to go about it. There are so many roads that you can still
Right.
take. This is something that I tell myself, especially in an industry like this, where there are n number of ways to go about it. And maybe one way is not your way, it's some other person's way. So you end up finding your own way. So yeah, I think this really helped
So
me.
I have a question. Yeah,
Yes.
I have a question here, which is that, you were part of a band, and then you decide to go and become a playback singer. Being part of a band, I'm sure Rahul will know this very well. The dynamics are very different from when you go and try your luck as a playback singer. And what is it that made you decide to do that? That decision? Or was it just something that you were trying your luck at
I think it's
without any specific goal in mind?
okay. I think again it was a mixture of a few things. One, because I used to play with my band at all these small venues, I was my my morale would really end up going low when you would practice for hours and give it all your love and all your effort and time, and only two people would show up, and sometimes zero people would show up.
Right.
And that's when I thought, maybe I should try another way to go about it, to go about my music. um,
Mm-hmm.
because because I felt if I would keep doing that, there were again there were few ways that I could go about it. Keep working in my own music, and keep writing more, working in my own band. But at the same time, I realized, there is in music there are a lot of different things. One is you write very well. One is you're a stage performer. One is you're a musician. One is you're a vocalist. So I decided, I realized that I'm also, yes, I do write, but I wasn't a great songwriter. But I knew I was a great vocalist. So I wanted to give my vocals also a chance. And Delhi
Right.
had Delhi has fewer opportunities as compared to Bombay when it comes to working with your voice. And when I moved to Bombay, I saw that there is something that you could do, that you could enter the commercial industry where you could do ads, you could do different kinds of sessions, you could get into playback singing, there was web. And I didn't know that there were so many opportunities, but I did want to give it a luck, because also I was only 20, 21, and I thought, if I want to give something a shot, something which I don't know how to go about, this was the correct time to do it. That's what I thought. And then I wanted to take that, what do you say, leap of faith, and I did. And it worked out for me. And it doesn't mean that
Right.
it's done. I still have to work at it every single day. I still have to um,
Mm-hmm.
work at my own music, keep working it every single day. So yeah.
Coming to you, Rahul, you have been part of a band, Indian Ocean, where you're working with a bunch of musicians, four other musicians, to be precise. You have also been part of Aisi Taisi Democracy, where you are the lone musician. So, can you just speak to our students and our viewers and tell them what are the dynamics of working as a musician with other musicians, as in a band, and working alone as a solo musician?
Okay. Firstly, acid democracy is much easier for me because those guys, the other two who are the stand
Mm-hmm.
comedians, they do the heavy lifting. मेरे को तो बीच में गाना गाना है
Right.
कि जब मैं इंडियन ओशन में होता हूँ तो आई एम in performance mode all through the 2.5 hours. Okay, because I also do all the talking in between songs, and Indian Ocean's music is fairly complex. You have to be fully focused. But as democracy gives me stuff that Indian Ocean does not. I mean, it allows me to express my political stuff and my fun side in a more interesting way. And I feel that most people have multiple facets which cannot be satisfied, especially artists, which cannot be satisfied with just one thing. ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है, ये भी ट्राई करना है, वो भी ट्राई करना है. तो ऐसी तैसी तो मैंने कुछ नहीं किया था, उन लोगों ने ही किया था. उन लोगों ने आके मेरे से पूछा कि भैया हम ये कर रहे, तू करेगा कि नहीं. मैंने कहा साउंड्स इंटरेस्टिंग, करते हैं. And then, you know, this thing of making satirical songs is something that I think all of us have done. All musicians do it. We all put in different lyrics to existing songs and we have fun. है ना?
That's
तो इसको अब दूसरे लेवल पे ले जाना और इसके साथ फिर initially we just did satires using old Hindi film songs, and then I started composing some of the stuff myself. So to make new songs and still have that kind of satirical lyrics, that's another challenge. And I play guitar for SCTC, whereas I play bass guitar for, I'm actually a bass guitarist. My rhythm guitar is very, very indifferent.
right.
What?
Yeah, I've never worked on it.
Yeah, though we have a picture of you with a saxophone.
That's
Though
nice.
our poster, you know that our poster has a picture of you as playing the saxophone.
Yeah.
Though your basic instrument is the bass guitar. So coming to the next question related to that is, both of you have been are singers, vocalists. How important is it to know an instrument, and how does it complement your music? Or more important, how does it complement your vocals?
Go, Sharvi, you go first.
Sharvi.
So I've always been a vocalist, and the more and more I got into music, and the more and more I wanted to do something with my vocals, I felt so handicapped not knowing an instrument. Because if I wanted to go in, for example, there's any melody, any melody line, कोई भी vocal melody line है, मुझे उसको I have some genre in my mind or something in my mind where to go about it. अगर मैं उसको, if I'm not able to express it, how to go about it, then because it can take varied forms. One simple vocal melody line can take varied forms. For that, it is very important for you to know. I realized then, especially when I started working on my own music, that it's so important to know an instrument so that you understand what space or what genre of music you want to get into with that vocal phrase. So that's what I realized especially when I started to write my own music, that knowing an instrument is so important. And that's when I learned a little bit of guitar, and that's when I got into keyboard. And that's how it's more than complementing it and more than supporting your vocals. To make a song, just your vocals aren't so important. What space it has to get into, the rhythm you give it, for that an instrument is extremely important. But I think Rahul will be able to give like a better view to this, because you write and you sing with it.
Rahul?
Yeah, well, see, I agree with Sharvi where she says that it helps to know an instrument in order to express your own vocal line. Secondly, when you play an instrument, it pushes the vocal line into different direction.
Correct. Yes, yes.
क्योंकि जो आप बजा रहे हो, अगर मान लो आप गिटार पे कुछ बजा रहे हो, आपने कॉर्ड हिट किया, आपने कहा अरे यार ये लाइन तो वहां जा सकता है.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the thing is that if you play different instruments, every single instrument pushes you in a different direction. ठीक है? मैं अगर रिदम गिटार लेके बैठता हूँ, तो वो गिटार से कुछ कॉर्ड्स अपने आप आती हैं और उंगलियां अपने आप चलती हैं, उससे मेलोडी किसी इस दिशा में जाता है. अगर मैं बेस गिटार लेके बैठता हूँ, तो वो bass guitar tends to give you what will I say, rhythmic progressions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
And so your melody making moves in a different direction. Playing a sax is a completely different now, or sax में अलग combination.
Correct.
और मैं piano के सामने बैठता हूँ तो फिर अलग चीजें निकलती हैं. So it actually broadens your scope as a maker of melody. And for example, I know that Priya knows this, that classical musicians are always encouraged to learn tabla first. Because जब तक आपने अपने rhythm को यूं नहीं पकड़ा है, क्योंकि classical, देखो pop में तो ठीक है, 3/3, 4/4 यही चलता है. Classical में तो ऐसे वो चलता है ना कि 16 बीट के बाद घूम के आएगा. और उसके बीच में आपको पंगे लेते हुए 16 बीट खत्म करते हुए सम पे आके पढ़ना है, या उस सम को कैसे यूज करना है, ये सब आप बिना तबला सीखे नहीं कर पाते हो. इसलिए ज्यादातर क्लासिकल म्यूजिशियन को सजेस्ट किया जाता है कि आप तबला सीखे पहले. करेक्ट प्रिया, am I right?
Yeah, they encourage you. Yeah, they encourage you to learn it, but it is not that all singers and vocalists and instrumentalists end up learning it. You know, they do encourage you in the beginning. But what happens is, because you constantly listen to it while you are singing, it's
sort of registered.
Basically practice. It's basically practice, and it kind of is something that you learn organically after a point. If you have it, great. Some people have to acquire it.
For people who want to write, but not like being a musician and being a vocalist are two very separate things, I feel. And if you want to be a musician, then learning an instrument definitely helps. But I also know people who are incredible vocalists and who still don't know how to play an instrument. Like because they don't have that thing to work on their rhythms, because when they want to write when they're working on a song, you know. So I feel working on an instrument, when you're a vocalist, then it helps you to write a song and to work in that space, be an overall musician rather than just being a mere vocalist.
mere mat bolo.
Just being a vocalist.
Rahul, I have a question. Huh?
I said mere vocalist mat bolo.
Yes, Rahul. Yeah. There's a question for you, which is that Indian Ocean has been influenced a lot by folk music. I want you to demonstrate, which means you sing, how an authentic folk song has got the Indian Ocean stamp on it. Pick a song that you have and sing it for our audience in its traditional form, and then how you've incorporated it into the Indian Ocean brand.
Okay, see, the singing part will not change very much.
Take Rode.
Okay, Rode. So Rode is a song which I heard being sung by a young woman. So I was in a village in Gujarat, an Adivasi village. और रात को बड़े सारे आदिवासी गांवों में क्या होता है कि लोग साथ में मिलके फिर गाना वाना गाते हैं पूरी रात भर और नाचते हैं. तो मैंने उस दिन रात को सुना एक गाना ये, और जब वो साथ गाते हैं और उनके कोरस सिंगिंग इज अ डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ मैजिक, यू नो. दे acquire a certain in fact there's a interesting overlap between Western African singing and Adivasi singing in this Beel area. It sounds quite similar. So I heard a phrase which sounded like Sinibinimiriya. Sinibinimiriya. Sinibinimiriya वो मेरे दिमाग में बैठ गया. अगले दिन हम लोग कहीं जा रहे थे and we were giving one of those girls a ride home.
Rahul, try and speak in English because not all our viewers understand Hindi.
यार अब मैं क्या करूं? What can I do? All right, I'll speak in a British accent then, if everybody can understand me. All right, then.
No, you don't have to speak in a British accent.
Alrighty then.
So then, you know, so in this tribal village, I heard these people singing this song, which had the phrase Cinebinimeria. And it sounded like such a strange phrase. It stuck in my head. And the next day we were going on to another village, and one of the women who was there at night took a ride with us. Her name was Jimli. And in those areas, it's quite interesting. Jimli lives 150 kilometers away, and she's married in a different village. She just set off. And she said, I'm coming to visit my parents. And she just came. And then she took a ride back with us the next day. I think it's quite beautiful, because even now you find in middle class homes that women have to take permission. Again, may I go to my house? So there it's a very, very different socially as well. Anyway, so I was telling Jimli that you were singing this song yesterday, which had this Cinebinimeria. So he said, oh, okay, I'll tell you what I was singing. And so the song is Rode Base Muka Base Basin Ben Meria Avi Re, which means that I'm sitting on the road waiting for the bus.
Can you just
Base Muka Base Basin bus mein baith ke sitting in the bus. My sister is coming. Ben Meria Avi Re. Base Basin Ben. So I heard that as Base Basin Ben Meria. So it goes. So the way she sang it. Rode base muka base basine benavenia vire. Rode jane laga base basine benavenia vire. So that's all I retained, but I loved it. And years later, so this was in the year 2003. Okay. In 2014, Indian Ocean made an album called Tandanu, where we took this song. We'd been trying and doing something with the song for a long time. And we got up to a point and gotten stuck. And then we got this kind of breakthrough in 2014, 11 years later. And this is what we did. I'll show you what we did.
Yes, sir.
It's see, bass player. So you put in this rhythm structure. Rode, pasan muka base bas man meria avire rode pasan muka base bas man meria avire rode pasan muka base bas man meria avire Rode, base muka base bas man meria avire. So we took that thing and we retained the tune, but changed the. We changed the tune also.
Yeah.
But I don't rode, base muka base man meria. So it comes because of this bass line.
You change the pace. Yeah.
And so, and I started off with a. Like that. So that's it's not a very
Right.
See, what happens is when you play with the band, everybody contributes. So you have to hear the song actually. It's called Rode. Check it out on the Tandanu album. And then, so what happened with that song? Here's the story. This is what I find interesting about this song. Is that this woman, Jimli, belonged to a village, and I heard this song in a village which does not exist anymore. Because the village was drowned by the waters of a dam. And so this entire village was
Rahul, the part of your face is getting cut off. Can you just come closer to the mic?
Guitar. Wait.
Yeah. Can you just
Yes. Okay. Ab aa gaya main pura.
Better, much better.
So what happened is that
Yeah.
Amit and I were one day. So I said, look, Amit, let's make this a song about displacement. That the lyrics don't have to talk about displacement, at least the beginning lyrics don't, but it's a song from a village that's been
Yeah,
displaced.
the Amit that, just 1 second. The Amit that he's talking about is Amit Kilam.
Yes,
His
Amit Kilam.
his drum.
He's a drummer for Indian Ocean, but he's not just a drummer. Amit plays guitar, Amit plays bass, Amit plays keyboard, Amit plays clarinet, Amit plays gabgubi, Amit plays recorder. Amit is does programming. Amit is the guy who does most of our. He sits with the mixer. He sits with the sound engineer. So he's a lot of things. He's not just a drummer. Okay. And Amit and I were talking about this, and I said, "Look, Amit, you're a Kashmiri Pandit. You also been displaced." And he said, "Yeah, man." And so he went and talked to his parents, and his mother wrote these Kashmiri lyrics about being displaced. All right. And which is, the lyrics are, talk about a tree that has been uprooted and planted in a different place. And it's in the voice of the tree. So the tree is saying, I'm living, I'm alive, but I miss where I came from. My roots, where my roots grew up, I miss that. And then we went and we asked Vishal Dadlani to collaborate with us on this track. And Vishal heard it, and he heard the story, and he said, "Yaar, main to Sindhi hu. Meri to puri kaum displace ho gayi hai." So he then, for the first time ever, first and possibly now, I think only time, wrote Sindhi lyrics. Ghar chhadde aaya aaya, hak chhadde, so ghar aaya, hak chhadde aaya, pat chhadde aaya, roo chhadde aaya, asi ronda, asi ronde, ronde. So basically he wrote this amazing thing, he set it up, and within one day of jamming, we had that song structure essentially in place. And so it's a song, and the transition from, it's quite interesting, but the transition from the Sindhi to the Kashmiri lyrics happened through a line of Pashto. वो जहांगीर का बोला हुआ यार, गर फिरदौस हमीन, you know, if
yes,
this is, that if there is a heaven on earth, it is Kashmir. You know that line? Hami nasto, hami nasto.
Yes.
Huh? So this is a song
it
which
is here,
has,
it is here, it is here.
Which has lyrics in Bilali, or actually Bhili. One line in Pashto. I think who speaks these four lines. Any one person who speaks all of them. But the song came out fantastic, and it's a conceptual song in that sense. But conceptual songs are useless if they don't sound good. समझ रहे हो ना? तो ये गाना हमने ऐसे करके लेके अलग अलग, तो एक कश्मीरी टच है, एक सिंधी, जैसे सिंधी गाने उसने सुने थे विशाल ने, तो उसका एक झलक, उसके रिदम का एक झलक वो ले आया, वो कश्मीरी गानों के भी एक रिदमिक फोक झलक ले आया अमित किलम इसमें. तो ऐसे करके हमने इस गाने को बनाया है. और ये कहानी
आप उसके कुछ एक दो लाइन सुनाइए.
तो सुना तो दिया है, रोडे 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 बस मुका, वही तो है.
उससे नहीं, और थोड़ा एक बार फिर से सुना दीजिए, because that time there was a problem with the
really song which requires the whole band because of the very strong rhythmic. If you don't have the band playing with you, it just ends up sounding like nothing. I'm sorry.
True.
But I can give you another story.
Yeah, true.
Which is, so this is what Indian Ocean does.
Okay.
Sometimes. I find this, I'm sorry, Sharvi, I'm just eating up a little bit.
Not at all. I'm just so awestruck with all your stories, and I'm just like, wow.
So there is a song again in the Tandinu album called Cheetu. Okay. And Cheetu, so the Adivasis there sing a lot of songs in a 10-beat structure. Okay.
Beat and time signature 10 you're saying?
Haan. So 10-beat structure. बता रहा हूँ यार, how can मत कर? ये पूरा ताल है classical में, 10-beat जाप ताल. पूरे compositions है जाप ताल में. So 10 beats मैं तुम्हें सुनाता हूँ. जब we break it up, it is 4/4/2.
Okay.
चीतू तारो बंगालो सिर कराप के ले दोलिए काहे बालीरो मोत्या तारो माता वाट्सो. No, अरे यार चुप हो जाओ यार. मुमताज मेरी ये देखो. This is Mumtaz.
Mumtaz.
Oh.
That is Lycopodium going.
Incidentally, Rahul has 9 dogs.
Yeah, I have 9.
Wow.
And this is noise. I
Nine,
have not because I'm my wife is the dog man.
you have 9. You
9 street
so
dogs.
you have 9 dogs, is it right?
Yeah. As of now.
Yeah. Okay.
And a cat.
And I adopted all of them.
Wow.
Yeah, they're all off the streets. So anyway, so Cheetu, ये कहानी अच्छी है इसलिए मैं सुना रहा हूँ. तो ये भी 1993 की कहानी. 1993 में मैं नर्मदा घाटी में था जब एक पुलिस फायरिंग का इंसिडेंट हुआ. पुलिस ने आके एक गांव में फायरिंग हुई और फिर उन्होंने उस गांव में जाके सारे घर वर तोड़ दिए. ठीक है. हम लोग उस गांव में 3 दिन बाद पहुंचे हैं.
Rahul, English, अंग्रेजी.
Oh, damn. Oh, so I've like broken 72 GJU laws right now. Okay. So, okay. All right.
JGU.
JGU, sorry. So, man, there I've broken another law. Yeah, you know, Sharvi, I'll tell you the story. I'd gone to Jindal Global.
No, we'll talk about that later.
Okay, sorry. I'm telling you, I'm a tangent, just a tangent.
Anyway, we'll talk about that
in
later.
In 1993,
yeah,
I was in the Narmada Valley and there was an incident where the police fired and injured some people in a village. And then they proceeded to do a lot of destruction in the village by, they basically, they broke their grindstones because these guys have to grind their atta fresh every day. They took the seed corn, maize and bajra and threw it down so that it got eaten up by the goats. They destroyed their haystacks and they did all kinds of things. Anyway, so I came to that village 3 days later as we all found out what's going on. And there I learned a song. I learned a song about the Bhil heroes who fought against the British in 1857. Okay. And one of those heroes was a man called Cheetu Bhil. And when Cheetu Bhil was finally defeated by the English, they took his small bungalow and converted it into a police station. Okay. This is back 1857. So the song is Cheetu Taro Bangalo Sir Karap Kele Doliye Kahe Balirio. वो 10 में घूमता है. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 मोत्या तारो माता वाट. Now you can make this into a 12 just by taking a breath.
Yeah, correct.
तो पिटेंगे you can do that, right?
Yeah, correct.
मगर वो लोग नहीं करते. वो 10 में गाते हैं. वो 10 में घूमते. So I learned this song and 3 days later I was in the lockup in Cheetu's bangla. मैं arrest होके मेरे को पुलिस ने उस कुछ लंबी कहानी वो छोड़ दो. So I found myself in Cheetu's bangla singing this song. So I was in the lockup in Cheetu's bangla singing Cheetu taro bangalo sir karap ke le doliye ka baliyo sir karap ke le doliye ka baliyo mamma taro pagodi. So अब और भी इंटरेस्टिंग होता है कि मैं और एक और बंदा अश्विनी हम दोनों थे साथ में अंदर बंद और हम लोग गाए जा रहे हैं. अब जेलर जो थानेदार है, थानेदार को भीली बिलाली आती नहीं. उसको बस ये मजा आ रहा कि यार मेरे लॉकअप पे लोग गाना गा रहे. तो वो अप्रिशिएट हमारे गाने को उसने अप्रिशिएट किया. यू अंडरस्टैंड शार्वी हाउ मच दिस मींस दैट ही ब्रॉट अस अपने घर से गरमा गरम बाजरे की रोटी, घी और भरवा भिंडी एंड दाल के साथ लाया है वो।
Oh wow.
इस आदमी ने तुम्हें अंदर बंद किया हो, जिसको बोला गया कि इनको treat them as badly as you can because these guys think they are too अपने आप को ज्यादा समझते हैं, इनको teach them a lesson. And he fed us this food.
Wow.
And the very next day, he had, when you get up in the morning, you're in the lockup, you say, listen, you have to go to the loo. So these guys handcuffed the two of us and took us at rifle point out into the road. And वहां हैंडपंप से पानी भरवा के हमको रास्ते के किनारे पे हगवाया. They have made us crap on the side of the road with a man standing with a rifle pointing at us. The same man who gave us ghee ki roti the previous night. So this teaches you a lot about how the state functions, about how they try and put people down who try and maybe speak up against some of the wrongs. And it made for a great song 20 years later. So we took this 10-beat structure. I played a couple of bass lines around it. Da-ra-tum, da-ra-tum, da-tum, da-da-tum, da-da-tum, da-tum, da-pam-pam-ta-tum, da-tum-tum-tum-tum, ta-tum-ta-tum, ta-da. Da 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 Jitu taro bangalo din garab kele daliya kaya bhaliro motyata, like that. So we made this like 10-beat bass line and going with the song, and then when we finally recorded the song, we asked Mr. Silva Ganesh, one of the finest percussionists in the world, who plays the kanjira, the son of the legendary Pandit Vikku Vinayakram, who plays the ghatam. And we thought, यार 10-beat structure है तो सेल्वा को मजा आएगा, because कुछ तो challenge देना चाहिए ना. उसको 4, 12, 16 तो उसके लिए कुछ भी नहीं है, उसके लिए मक्खन है. लेकिन सेल्वा यार 10 ले ले, उसके लिए एक्चुअली 10 भी मक्खन है. मगर फिर सेल्वा ने आके बजाया, उसको बड़ा मजा आया, और उसने हमें एक्चुअली 1-2 घंटे का मास्टर क्लास दिया है on the construction of Konakol. Sharvi, so Konakol is the South Indian beat thing, right? So he taught us how they do it.
Wow.
Yeah. So, for him, he says, take 6, no 6. What is 6? What is 6? Huh? Think of 6 as 5 and 7. Think of 6 as 5 and 7 शुरू किया है इस आदमी ने. क्योंकि 5 + 7 12 होता है और 6 + 6 12 होता है.
हाँ. Oh yes.
So you can actually play a combination of 5, 6s and 7s and end up playing an entire thing in a 6-beat structure and come back to the 1.
Oh yes, that's interesting.
Right.
So this is how they do it.
Yeah.
Takita, taki. Takita, taki. Bas itna hi hai. Takita. 1, 2, 3. Taki is 2. Right? So if you do takita, taki is 5. Takita, taki, taki is 7. And takita, takita is 6. Now you combine them so that there's equal numbers of these, and it will add up to a 6-beat composition which can come back to its 1 once you're done with it.
Yes.
Sorry. हाँ, मैं बिल्कुल ही कहीं और चले गया.
Sharvi, I need to ask you.
Sir, please give me a private
yeah, sorry.
Lesson. Okay, Sharvi, since don't talk about money all the time. Okay, Sharvi,
listen, if I talked about money all the time, I would have gone to Bombay.
Well, now this is the question I have for Sharvi. Actually, she's been in Bombay. You've been in Bombay for a while now. You've kind of managed to break through, and you've got a lot of songs out. You've done a lot of jingles. What is the kind of advice that you can give somebody who wants to start off in Bombay? Since you've been there and you've done it just recently, it might be of a lot of use for people who want to go there and do professional music.
I feel I think when I was in college, there were always 2 kinds of musicians. One, that people who just loved music for the love of it. Then there were these others who loved music and who wanted fame. Oh, then there's a third category who loved music and who also wanted to financially live off it, like who also wanted money. So I feel it's very important to know what one wants from life, to get a little clarity to how to go about it. Being um, being raised in a family where my father is the bread owner of the family, and my mother being a homemaker, and in a lot of households, in fact, in India, where women don't financially earn, I've always wanted, um, I always wanted to be financially independent, always. And
Right. Right.
that's when it hit me, when I was in college, and even when I decided to take this step for Bombay. Oh, mama's calling, mom. Lambi umar. So when I was planning to move to Bombay, I loved music. I definitely did. I still love that. It was always there. But I also really wanted to be financially strong, because I wanted, and I still want the scenario to change in our country, where women aren't strong enough emotionally. Yes, they're strong, but financially, to have a say, to have to if I always felt, if I wanted to change the society, or if I have a lot of plans for the future, which I will slowly disclose
So
in life in general. But I always thought I had to be financially strong. That was always my goal. And
right,
that's when I
right.
decided,
Yeah, to be financially
yeah.
strong, did you think that you would make money, you would earn through music?
Yes, I
And if
wanted
you
to.
did, and
Because
if you did, one second, if you did, what are the three things that you would suggest to a person who is setting out for Bombay now to do the same?
firstly, I feel your hold on your skill is extremely important. Extremely important. Um, I worked on my voice for years. I'm still working, but your hold on your voice is extremely important. One, two, to explore avenues where you can earn money from your art, and I feel to earn money in Bombay, what three things? And I feel um, you need to start. So when I moved, that's a very oh god, difficult question. When I when I also moved, I realized that there will be times when I might have to alter my song preferences. I might have to do this or might have to do that. That's why it was very important to find clarity in what you want from your music also, because you're also an artist.
Mm-hmm.
Or are you a completely money person, that you'll just go, you want to make music because you want to earn money, or you just want to be an artist, you want to change the world via your music. So to get these, so to get these clarity in these prospects, so I think that's what I did. I moved to Bombay,
Okay.
and I got to know that the commercial space has money. Then I got to know what has money, what doesn't have money. I got to know events have money, what kind of events have money. That's also I got to know. So I feel also exploring the industry, because it is so wide, and to, yeah, and that's when I realizes, if I can't alter, there were few things that I never want to alter. I still, if the music that I'm working on, I don't want to alter that. I still want to release music which is my own, if that makes money or if that doesn't make money. But I want money also from my music. So
Right.
that's a very different.
Uh,
I get it from my other spaces. I also teach. I also, as you said, do commercials. So I think to have these small clarity in your mind when it comes to art and money is extremely important. So you don't end up being a frustrated musician by the end of it. So what do you say?
Right. I have one more question for you, Sharvi, which
Yes.
is that you say your forte is blues, jazz, and pop,
Hmm.
right? And you also say that it is important to be versatile to be a success in Bombay as a musician. Can we hear a couple of lines from you of a
Success. When I mean
yeah?
success, I mean success in the industry when it comes to certain things. Again, success can vary. It can vary for so many people. That's why one needs to know what success means to them. For me, success means having a
Right.
hold on my skill and having and being financially strong for now. So I think one
Right.
really needs to have clarity over the fact, again, what success means to that person and what one wants from life.
Right. Yeah. So when you're talking about being versatile, is it necessary to be versatile to be a competent playback singer? Is that what you were referring to?
That has helped me, definitely. Yes, that has helped me so much. And especially also in the commercial industry, doing ads, knowing how to modulate your
Yeah.
voice. Um, there are also people who have made it in the industry, and in the industry, I mean playback singing, who are excellent only in one genre, and that's worked out for them because their hold on that genre is incredible. But I also feel
Right.
versatility in itself opens more avenues for you
Yeah.
because it opens up more
So
genres.
is there any particular song that is inspiring you these days? And if you can hum a couple of lines of that.
Eh, okay. I tried to do this. So actually, I wouldn't sing in Hindi because one second. This is my favorite Coke Studio song ever.
Rahul, there's a question which has come to us for you, which I'd like you to address after Sharvi's sung her bit. This is from somebody called Nafis Alam, who says, "How do you get ideas of satire?"
Okay, Sharvi, go ahead. I'll reply to this once.
So please answer it. My chords, I'm finding chords still there.
You're finding chords.
Okay, maybe she needs to tune her.
Okay.
She's tuning
So,
her.
all I can say is to find ideas of satire, all you have to do is watch one Arnab show or just open the newspaper on any day. They are giving us satire, man. You know, life is stranger than fiction. हो रहा है हमारे साथ, is happening with us every single day in our country as we live. It is actually what not to be satirical about is. So the thing is, satire, you know, we talk about ourselves, Acid Democracy says we are social commentators. Okay. And so we'll do satire not just on politicians, but on the hypocrisies that we find within our own society as well. You know, like औरत देवी होती है. Woman is a goddess, is what they say, and yet they are one of the lowest gender ratios in the world. Living example of hypocrisy and satire. You will kill your girl child, and then you will say, "Oh, woman is goddess." Hello? क्या हो रहा भाई? Huh? So this is ripe for satire. You will say, "My father is the best father in this world." How many fathers do you have? तुम्हारा N क्या है? तुम्हारा statistical sampling size क्या है? What is your statistical sample size that you call your father the best father in the world? Have you sampled other fathers? So, this kind of stupidity that we are taught, that, oh, I love my country, I love my religion, I love my language, I love my region. It is accident. You were born into it. Suppose you had been born into a different, suppose you had been born in Burkina Faso, in West Africa. You would have been saying the same things about Burkina Faso. Oh, Burkina Faso is the best country in the world. My language is the best language in the world. My religion is the best. These are the myths that we are taught. So we guys like to have fun with that. And once your brain starts thinking along these lines, there is no end to the number of things that you can be satirical about, frankly. Sorry. Sharvi, as usual, longer answer than required.
Couldn't find chords, so I decided to change the song. Hacks 101.
Incidental. Incidentally, today is Father's Day, today is Yoga Day, today is Music Day, and today is summer solstice.
And today was solar eclipse.
Yes. This song is called Somewhere Over the Rainbow because trying to find the silver lining everywhere, especially in
Is it your own song?
So not my own song. It's a very famous standard.
You're singing somewhere over the rainbow. Sing somewhere over the rainbow.
Oh, over the rainbow.
Yeah, let's go for it, Sharvi.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. Huh.
Can you hear it? Somewhere over the rainbow where bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dream unwinds in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow where bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dream once in a lullaby. Thank you.
Oh, nice.
Thank you. Nice. So, I think, there's another thing that I wanted to ask, which is the Sonu Nigam just came out recently with a video where he's calling out music companies about them calling shots about which artist is going to be recorded or not. So what do the two of you have to say about this?
Yes. So basically Sonuji called out all these labels who make so many singers sing a song, and by the end of it, like 15 singers sing a song, and by the end of, especially after Sushant Singh Rajput's demise, that so many singers go through so much mentally over one song, and by the end of it, they don't even get a song, and especially for all the young comers because the competition is so high. So he was talking about that and how labels have formed a mafia and how have they, the monopoly that they hold in the industry. So he was talking about that, and that video went viral, and people started talking about it.
Really?
So
okay.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, my impression was different. My impression was not that it's the music company that's doing it, but it's the producer of the film. It's not the music company. अभी तक गाने ही नहीं बने, तुमने भेजा कहाँ है music company को यार? Sorry. You know, before the songs are made.
But this is what he said. This is what he said.
No, I don't care what he said. I'm telling you what the reality.
He mentioned music company. Yeah,
Yeah,
but he did.
that's because he doesn't want to.
That's what I was wondering. How is the music company relevant?
It's irrelevant. It is a wrong thing to say. You know, if the music company is producing the film, or if it's an independent album which the music company is producing, then I can imagine. But if it's a music director,
exactly,
the directors do it themselves. Pritam does it. Pritam gets 8 to 10 people to sing one song because he doesn't have the confidence in himself to say, "Ye aadmi ye gana gayega." He will defer to the producer and the director, and very often the star, and say, "Aap gana ga lo." So then they will get 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people to sing the song. They will not pay for singing that song.
Yeah.
They will only pay the one guy who gets selected. And
that also doesn't happen. Like now, to even
well, okay. So I just sung a song for this Gulabo Sutabo. Okay? And girls, sorry. Quiet. Luffy. Sorry. Okay. Quiet. Okay, so Gulabo Sitabo, I sang a song, and the usual happened. The music director called me up and said, there's a song, and will you sing it? And the producer has suggested your name, and I said, how sweet. And I'm coming down to Bombay for a show on that day, and I'll come into your studio, I'll sing the song. Send me the song so that I can learn it. I love learning the song beforehand. I don't like going into the studio and singing it, because you need some time to get a song inside you. Okay, if you have to give it more than a bare minimum.
Right. So don't you think that's a privilege? For me, I see it as a privilege. Don't you think that's a privilege you get as like an experienced person in the industry?
Also like somebody who won't chori the song. Okay. There are so many stories I should tell you. When we were recording Kandisa.
No, but she's right. But she's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Sharvi is absolutely right, because many people are not given any time.
Yes,
exactly.
I agree. It's a very foolish thing. It is short-sighted on the part of the music director.
Correct.
To not give the singer the song at least 2 or 3 days or a week before. I'll tell you, I sang the song for Gulal, Raat Ke Musafir. Okay. Piyush gave me the tune and the lyrics. I was just to sing it. So I sat there and did an arrangement and then sent it off, and Anurag then calls me up and says, "Nahi Rahul, mere ko na pata kya hai? Let me tell you what I want. I want you to imagine that your life has become rubbish and you're sitting all alone in a room by yourself and singing the song to yourself. That's the mood I want." So he actually gave me a direction. And that's what came out finally. And that's the way you do music, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the early days, the whole orchestra used to have practice sessions with the singers before the songs got made. So everybody knew what we are getting into. What is the point of asking me to walk into a studio blind and learn the lyrics, learn the tune, learn the bhav, learn the expression, learn the story of the film, and then sing it in half an hour and go away? It's foolish.
Yeah, that's what is required.
Yes,
that's the thing. Not everybody now sees it like this. It's more of a lot of people do and a lot of people don't. That's also a thing. And they just, for them, it's just kana jo kar paye in that half an hour, who's able to do all of this that you mentioned. That's the chosen one. Like that. Not for everybody, but
so Sharvi,
yes, ma'am.
So Sharvi, was it easy for you to get into that rhythm?
That's why I say versatility really helped me.
Correct. That's what the word versatility meant when she said it.
Yeah, that's how it helped me, I feel. Because I was always like this all over the place sort of vocalist who loved, not that I didn't know which space I want to get into, but I loved every space. Like right now, I'm trying to learn Sufi and I'm trying to learn this new all this Coke Studio sort of space, and because I genuinely I fall in love with versatility that way, and that helped me. So whenever, and especially being in the commercial industry, for especially when you're going for an ad, you're called, they show you the script, the TV is there, this
Yeah.
is the movie will be going on, the lyrics are there, they'll on you enter the studio, not every time they'll even tell you to or bother to tell you about the gist of the ad, the film ad film, but you enter the studio, wear your headphones, this is the melody, in 5 minutes they'll sort of tell you, we want it in this space, we want it in this space, try to get it and show what you can deliver. So I think because I did it for so many years, not so many, I did for 3 years, that sort of really helped me to quickly get it, quickly grasp it, quickly deliver. So I think that sort of
Yeah,
helps
because
with hospitality also. But it always helps to live with a song, give it a day, live with it, because then I'll also end up enjoying it. And that's the whole point of being an artist by the end of it. Rather than delivering
yes.
it to them, but feeling it in you, you know. So yeah, that did help me,
Yeah.
and that's how versatility I feel is so important in the current times. If you want to be successful in these terms that I've been mentioning.
Okay, last question before we wrap up. This is again for Rahul from Otif. He says, do your political beliefs influence your music? And if so, do you expect only those who agree with your beliefs to follow your music?
Hmm. I'll tell you this. I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God. Right? That does not mean that I don't like songs that celebrate God. That does not mean that I cannot listen to Bhimsen ji singing bhajan. Huh? Classical music के lyrics में तो almost everything is religious, यार. Huh? It doesn't mean I can't listen to Nusrat Saab singing Allah Muhammad Char Yar Ka, Haji Khwada Qutb Farid. I can listen to it all. It does not mean that I cannot listen to Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, Ode to Joy. So I don't feel that, in fact, religious music, religious feeling has given rise to some of the best music in the world. Really fantastic music, because those guys have felt it and they've sung it from their soul and they've sung it from their heart and they genuinely believe what they're singing. Exactly what we were talking about, that if you know the song,
Right.
if you know the lyrics, if you know the mood, you sing it better. Okay? So this is the beautiful thing about music, that you don't necessarily need to agree with the politics of the song to enjoy it. You know, like I don't expect
Right.
only people who agree with my politics like my music. It's not true. In fact, I'll give you the ulta example. So there are a lot of Indian Ocean songs, and there are a lot of people who listen to Indian Ocean but dislike what I do with SHS Democracy. They still continue to listen to Indian Ocean. They said, sir, we don't agree with you on HTC, but वो बंदे गाना बड़ा अच्छा है. अब क्या करोगे?
Okay, now I've got a message saying that we need to wrap this up. So Sharvi Yadav and Rahul Ram, thank you very much for being here. The idea was that on World Music Day, we would get perspectives with somebody who's freshly into the industry and somebody who's been a veteran. And both of you have delivered in full measure. Thank you again.
Thank
Thank you so
you. Thank you,
much.
Priya. Bye-bye, Sharvi. Pleasure.
Thank
Hopefully, I'm
you.
Thank you. It's
Thank
so
you.
lovely to hear you talk and to know your idea behind music.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am, for having the two of us. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
It was
Bye.
a pleasure to have you here. Thank you. Thanks,
Thanks.
Rahul. Thanks, Sharvi, again. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.